Well, good day, mates. Today I want to film a video about Doctor Who again. So yes, I'm filming this because I want to talk about Doctor Who in general. Really, ever since Doctor Who's come back, it's been quite good, hasn't it? I think Russell T Davies can be quite proud of his work on Doctor Who. Because obviously bringing it back, he'll be hero forever for doing that to many Doctor Who fans all across the world. He's produced many good episodes during his time there. Many great series, and two brilliant Doctors. Really, it's got to be said. Christopher Eccleston's Doctor was quite good. I think it would have been quite interesting if Christopher had stayed on for another series, but because seeing the episodes, with the 10th Doctor in, if the 9th Doctor was in them, it would have been quite interesting to see how he would have handled those situations instead. The 9th Doctor never encountered the Cybermen either, so, if we could have an episode where, if we could have seen the 9th Doctor fighting the Cybermen, that would have been quite interesting. And see how we would handle losing Rose as well. And, another thing, I think the Doomsday episode could have been a brilliant episode for the Doctor's 9th regeneration, because, maybe he gets shot by a Dalek or, Cyberman blast. No, let's say Cyberman blast, actually, because it's getting a bit tiring seeing all these Dalek blasts hit the Doctor, so yes, say Cyberman blast, and he loses Rose, and he regenerates at the same time. No. He loses Rose, but he's going through the regeneration process. He's not necessarily regenerating. Maybe he's dying, and then when she's gone, he's regenerating. So maybe at that point where they meet again, she doesn't recognise him because he's regenerated into David Tennant's Doctor, and so it would have been quite good if Eccleston stayed for 2 series as well as opposed to 1. But I think he was, it was a fantastic Doctor. Another thing I want to say, I really want to see the 8th regeneration. I suppose a lot of Doctor Who fans do. I think they're going to slowly give hints, before they, if they're thinking about, showing us the regeneration, I think they're going to slowly build up to it. Slowly give us, little hints on how he regenerated, and what the situation was. We already know he regenerated alone. There was no one around when he regenerated. So like a Time War movie. Because we've really learnt about the Time War in this series. If we could learn about, if they could show us, if they could produce a movie of the Time War with the 8th Doctor, and because I don't think we've seen enough of the 8th Doctor either, really. I don't know if Paul McGann doesn't want to come back, then you can't force him. But I really do think that would be quite good for Doctor Who if we saw the 8th regeneration. It would really be good for it, because it probably answers so many questions Doctor Who fans have, and no doubt it'd bring in a lot of money, because the 8th, especially if it featured the 8th regeneration, because that's one thing that many Doctor Who fans have wanted to see for years, and so yes, it'll be at the end of the era, and that we won't be wondering anymore, but it'd be quite interesting to find out, how it happened. And David Tennant's Doctor was quite good as well. And of course Matt Smith's Doctor was quite good. I've watched the Doctor Who movie of '96. It's quite good. I'll say that. I don't want to give too much away in case if you haven't seen it and you're thinking of watching it. But it's definitely a movie to watch. Especially if you haven't seen it. Yes, well, there's been many great episodes of Doctor Who. I can't really pick one episode out as my particular favourite. I have to say I rather like how they've. I think it's rather quite interesting to see how they've developed the Daleks, really, because they say the Daleks don't have a constant. They don't really. The only emotion they have is hate. But in some cases that's not true. I can demonstrate this. In the two-parter episodes where the Doctor was in New York in the 1930s with Martha, Dalek Sec became, the first human Dalek, if you like. But and he started to, have feelings, and he admitted that he thought the deaths were wrong. So that I think is quite interesting. That there are situations where the Daleks can have, emotions. And Dalek can in the end of series 30 or 4. If you want to. He went mad, but what we've got to remember is he did feel that the deaths caused by the Daleks were wrong as well. But yes, so there are whereas Daleks might not have a concept of emotions, in certain situations they do. So even the most feared creature in Dalek Who has emotions sometimes. And I think it was quite interesting about Yvonne Hartman's Cyberman, because she was sort of a good Cyberman. She was a Cyberman, but she was she was the one good Cyberman, if you know what I mean. She helped kill some of the Cybermen, and you could tell it was her by what she said. She killed some of the Cybermen, and there was a little black tear that came down her cyber face, if you like, as well. And so, not all of so there are certain exceptions. So I can't pick a particular season as my favourite. One of my favourite companions was Rose. But to be honest, I think if Rose had stayed in her world, in terms of the world she was born in, I think it would get a bit repetitive, really, because if the Doctor had just left her there at the end of series 4, then it would have got very repetitive, because it'd be very easy for her to find ways to find the Doctor, and she keep coming back, and it just get very, very repetitive. So that's one good thing. But I think I have a feeling we haven't seen the last of Rose Tyler. Maybe we have seen the last of her for a while, but not if it's with a song. Anyway, I'm going to go now because we're running out of time. See you in my next video, which will probably be something apart from Doctor Who. Well, I'm not a Bane.